So the trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater has dropped. It's been out a couple of days, but I'm just now getting to it. I have to say this because for so long, since the 90s, since the first PlayStation, I've been such a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. This franchise is unlike any other. It holds a special place in the hearts of millions of people, just to name a few. The thing about this franchise is the Rogues Gallery is out of this world. The action play, the story, the comedy, the drama, everything about the Metal Gear franchise has always been top notch. But on the re-release that's supposed to be coming out, I think GameSpot said it was supposed to be coming out in November, but then they retracted that. I don't know when the game is supposed to be coming out. I don't want them to rush it because when you look at the imagery on the video that's being rendered, it's such a beautiful thing. On the particular game Snake Eater that we're about to react to, when I first played this game 20 years ago, it had like a James Bond-esque feel to it, from the opening theme song to the espionage, and not to get too deep into the story because the story of Metal Gear is a very, very deep rabbit hole. It would be impossible. I mean, not impossible. People have done it, but just for a reaction video, it's not worth it to go into it. However, the theme song for Snake Eater was a beautiful thing. It's so intoxicating, so alluring, so mystifying because it does remind you of those old school James Bond songs. I'm hoping that they put that on the new game, the re-rendered version. And so I want to get into the trailer now. So let's check it out.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet. Approaching Soviet airspace.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on.
That's beautiful.
The clock is ticking. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox Unit Special. In other words, weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Nice.
Freeze. Speak.
Oh my God.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Looks so beautiful. When I first played it back in 2004, it was a beautiful game back then, but they have entirely upped the ante. The thing about this Snake Eater game, Snake always had very, very cool bad guys. As a matter of fact, my PlayStation ID is Ocelot. Gangster Ocelot. So if anybody's out there, you ever want to play against me, just hit me up on the PlayStation Network as Gangster Ocelot, and we could get in a few games together. But I did that because one of the characters in the franchise is called Revolver Ocelot, one of my favorites in the series. But the Rogues Gallery, they all have some crazy supernatural power. and you really have to think your way through from the first Metal Gear to the last. This franchise, like I said, it has a very beloved place in my heart. I can't wait for this particular game to come out. I will say this though, because I have to play the Snake Eater theme song before we go, because this is something you have to check out. So I'm gonna just play a little snippet of the Snake Eater song and check it out. See if you like it.
What a thrill with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way.
It's the way. Snake
I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive for the day we see new life. Give my life, not for honor, but
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. What I will do though is put a link to the entire video in the description of this particular reaction. Uh, they were showing some of the Rogues Gallery, one of the best Rogues Gallery I've ever seen in a video game. The boss fights in this game, I'm telling you, is top notch. If you didn't play the original, it's beautiful. And even in the song, when the lady is saying, some days you'll go through the rain, and some days you'll feed on a tree frog. The thing about this particular game, when it first came out, that was so cutting edge, is that in order to get through, Snake had a stamina meter and an injury meter, and he had to eat snakes and frogs and all kind of animals, rats. Sometimes you would be in a position where all you could find to eat was a rat, and it gave you just a little bit of stamina. They give you a cache where you could keep your food, but you couldn't keep your food in there too long. And it was so funny because there were times like if you kept the game, like if you saved it, and let's just say you went to work or to school or whatever the case may be, if it stayed in your cache too long, by the time you got back, the food was actually rotten and you had to get rid of the food. You're climbing up trees, trying to kill birds. It was the wildest thing. When he got shot up, he would have to bandage himself up and get his stamina up. So there's medical kits around the game. You had to get like flowers that did certain things to heal you. Plants, I should say, not flowers. But it was such a very involved game, and I'm hoping they do that on this one, but just turn it up just a little bit more. But tell me what you think about the trailer. It's a beautiful game, beautiful song. Top 10 all time franchise, if you ask me. Game has to be top 5 all time from all video games. But if you're a gamer, even if you're not a gamer, if you've never played a video game before, you should play this one, because even in the Metal Gear lore, Snake Eater is the first. It's out of sequence. Even though it's the third game in the franchise, it's the first mission that Snake ever went on. But like I said, tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Joby out.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!